Welcome to the Intuitive Hour with psychic medium, author, and intuitive life coach, Michelle Beltran. The Intuitive Hour will empower you to learn how to magnify your intuitive voice. Listen in and expand your understanding of what it means to be psychic and how to awaken, amplify, and trust your inner voice.
So, when we talk about fulfillment as a culture, it often looks like this. Are you satisfied with your job? Do you feel like you're making enough money? Are you finding success in your relationships? We're just constantly being pushed into the realm of the superficial, where our egos take hold. And as a result, many people don't realize that what they're truly yearning for isn't a promotion or a vacation or a brand new car. It's actually spiritual awakening. If you find yourself feeling lost or frustrated, it's very possible that your soul is just seeking more spiritual understanding. You have a desire to know what your true life calling is, why you're really here. When you feel this, listen. By giving in to that desire, by listening, you begin your journey down a life-changing spiritual path. In fact, you may be on that journey already without even knowing it. So let's talk about that today, everyone. Welcome to the Intuitive Hour. The topic today, the stages of spiritual awakening. And where are you on that map? All right, diving right in. Stage 1. We call this profound unhappiness. It's a period often referred to as the dark night of the soul. For some, it's powerful enough to generate movement quickly, and in that way it becomes a bit of a blessing. Others, however, may remain in this period for months or years before finding their way into the next stage. During this time, you're likely to experience feelings of despondency and unhappiness. You might feel that life has no meaning. You're spinning your wheels. You feel disconnected from others. And you can't escape a sense of alienation. The dark night of the soul is often triggered by trauma or a large and overwhelming life change. Passing of a loved one, loss of a job, loss of a relationship. Stage 2, shifting belief systems. So this second stage involves a release of former beliefs, but it doesn't always lead to new and empowering beliefs. And instead, you might start to see through the lies, we can call them, that you've been told that kept you complacent in your own suffering or suffering of others. This stage can also involve feelings of alienation, and you might find that you're filled with anger or distrust. You might find it hard to relate to others, but still seem unwilling to open their eyes to a larger truth. Stage 3. Here's your search for answers. So in this third stage, you'll find the inner conviction, the inner knowing, a deep sense that there must be some higher meaning. Yes, there is suffering in the world, but you're sure that there is also purpose and joy to be discovered. So this becomes a time to turn to spiritual podcasts or learning or blogs or books. It's a time to just immerse yourself in spiritual information and growth. A time to start asking questions. Even if you're not sure, you'll find the answers. There can be both frustration and hope in this stage. Stage 4. The dawn of spiritual breakthroughs. Here's a sense of leaping forward. In this fourth stage of the map, you'll begin to experience spiritual breakthroughs. You might discover an intuitive life coach or support system or group that offer you guidance. Your existential suffering finds some relief as you begin to connect with your higher self and the world around you. You begin to listen to it, your higher self and your subconscious. It guides you. It keeps you right and you trust it. So don't be fooled into thinking that you have reached or achieved true enlightenment here. You're going to have feelings of joy and awe that may lull you into the belief that you have completed your journey. The reality is we're all a work in progress and it continues. This is a time to lean into your deepening levels of understanding and not come to a standstill. Stage 5, a desire to give up on the spiritual journey. You may or may not go through this, but some do. There'll come a point when you desire to turn your back to spiritual growth and momentum, your spiritual journey, and return to old patterns and beliefs. You may sense that spiritual enlightenment requires you to relinquish your ego's sense of control and forget that this is a positive thing. After all, your brain is still wired to seek control at all times, as if controlling yourself and others can protect you from the darker sides of life. This disillusionment will lead you, if you let it, to the realization that you have only scratched the surface. While this can bring some frustration and fatigue, it can also bring about a desire to push forward with renewed vigor. Do that if this stage comes to you. Stage 6, deeper soul work. So during this 6th stage, you are no longer satisfied with surface level spiritual work that keeps you in a state of joy and awe. You're well aware that pain is a large part of our collective existence, and you're ready to understand your own sources of pain. You commit to practices like shadow work or inner child work, and you'll emerge from the trenches stronger and more in touch with yourself. So here's where you do the work, unabashedly. You may become a serious learner or teacher of intuitive development or coaching. You're becoming aware that you have intuitive gifts, and that can bring you deeper levels of consciousness, and you're ready for it. Stage 7, our last stage, integration and boundless joy. It becomes very natural to integrate the lessons you've learned throughout your spiritual journey into your daily life at this point. You've successfully relinquished all of your old beliefs, and you no longer think about life through the lens of the singular or the ego. You know deep down that life is about the collective, and you're now living for the collective good. This stage of full spiritual awakening may take time to achieve, but it's entirely attainable. You'll think you've reached it many times, only to discover that you're back on an earlier stage of the cycle. The spiritual path is not linear, and it's normal to move back and forth between stages in pursuit of this final awakening. But once you're here, you are here. And you'll find that joy is easier to access because it isn't limited to fleeting experiences or materialistic goals. There can still be sorrow or darkness or pain or discomfort in this stage, but your sense of self remains firm no matter what life throws you. There are many levels of understanding that we move through in our lifetimes, everyone. Most of us are somewhere on the path, to a spiritual awakening, whether we realize it or not. Ask yourself, where do you fall on the map? And how will you take steps to move forward? There are many ways that you can move the process along and avoid getting stuck in one stage. One of them is to work toward your own intuitive and psychic development and use it to guide you. Trust it. Also, as you explore spiritual awakening, I highly recommend learning about brain waves, electrical signals that originate from the brain and travel through the body. They consist of alpha, beta, theta, and delta. Learn about that. Bring that into your study and your practice. The power of brain waves is an amazing tool to help you become the person you want to be, and by understanding the different types, how to control their frequency and learning how to use it, it can change your life. Delta wave music in particular helps us find the deepest level of relaxation, meditation, and even sleep. This is the slowest type of brainwave, and through delta waves, you can access your subconscious mind, gain insight into yourself, and receive spiritual messages you are meant to know. Delta waves allow you to tap into your deeper levels of creativity and intuition. It increases the flow of energy between the conscious and the unconscious part of your brain. So use it, study it, learn about it. All right, everyone, we will bring this episode to a close. As always, thank you for joining me, and I look forward to meeting with you all next week.
If you enjoyed this episode of the Intuitive Hour, please consider following, rating, and reviewing the podcast at Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. You're welcome to access Michelle's free controlled remote viewing exercise that will empower you to uncover answers to your burning questions about lost objects, events, or people in the past, present, or future. Visit michellebeltran.com to access this free offering and rediscover what was once lost.